Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon from this rainy Istanbul weekend. I would like to welcome you and our esteemed audience of the Islamic Cooperation Youth Forum and the local movement friends from around OIC geography and beyond to this first kick-off session of the ICYF Youth Municipal Assemblies Union, which is one of the ICYF projects on the local level as a new initiative by ICYF to localize and to implement the global agendas with the contribution of youth in the OIC member states and beyond in the non-member states with Muslim minorities. We will have a detailed information about the project in the following minutes, dear ladies and gentlemen. Now, please allow me to start this session by introducing our esteemed speakers and guests, starting with esteemed host of this session, His Excellency Mr. Taha Ayhan, the President of the Islamic Cooperation Youth Forum, His Excellency Mr. Shibani Abdullah, the Advisor of the Minister of Youth and Sports of the State of Libya, His Excellency Mr. Mehmet, the Secretary General of the United Cities and Local Governments, Middle East and West Asia Regional Section, and the Chairman of World Academy of Local Government and Democracy. Moreover, we have esteemed Mr. Hossein Shakiri, the Advisor of Mayor of Mashhad, member of ICYF Board, and the CEO of Youth Consultancy Pardis from Iran. We have also esteemed Ms. Lucia Talgieh, Municipal Council member from Bethlehem Municipality and Program Coordinator at WIAM Palestinian Transformation Center. And esteemed Ms. Mahnaz Boghayeri from Golestan Municipalities Union, expert in the fields of youth assemblies and tourism, ecotourism and heritage protection. Audience, it is our pleasure to receive your questions in the chat box to be answered by esteemed speakers at the end of the session. We'll start our key session now by the speech of Mr. Taha Ayhan, the President of Islamic Cooperation Youth Forum, to listen to his important insights in this regard. Mr. President, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Muhammed Bey. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all. Hello from Istanbul. Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear distinguished guests, dear webinar listeners and viewers, dear Marmara Belediyeler Birliği family, thank you very much for inviting me and thank you very much for hosting this session. Welcome to the opening ceremony for the project of the Islamic Cooperation Youth Forum for the Union of Marmara Belediyeler Birliği and Union of the Municipal Youth Assemblies, which is the first project of its kind in the field of local authorities, in which we will work as a forum to use regional diplomacy as a sustainable development tool with our youth in the OIC member states and non-OIC countries with the Muslim minorities. Dear all, since the Habitat II conference held in Istanbul in 1996, the local authorities gained a velocity in terms of contributing to the local and eventually to the national and international sustainable development. The Union of Municipal Youth Assemblies project came as one of the outputs of the ICYF pillars on the role of the youth in the sustainable development and diplomacy as the peace boosters at the local level. And I want to express my thanks to minds behind this brilliant project, to the Muhammed Mahli Bey, who is the moderator of this session, and also to the Hossein Kashiri Bey, also a keynote speaker of this session. I'm very thankful to both colleagues to creating this initiative in behalf of the ICYF Forum and in collaboration with the Marmara Belediyeler Birliği. We are working within the principle of special or local development in the Islamic Cooperation Forum, and we believe in the fact that says that local administrations are the administrative level closest to the people and that contribute significantly to solving the problems of people without going back to the central authorities and more quickly than them. The local authorities are considered as the mediating link between the central government and the local citizen. Therefore, through the tasks it performs and the powers entrusted to it, it assumes great importance in achieving sustainable development at the local level. This is demonstrated by expanding opportunities for the participation in developing plans and revealing the community's requirements. and the practice of good governance, in addition to the managing and rationalizing the local resource in the light of the practice of a regional economic activity that respects the capabilities of the environment, providing the requirements for the members of the local community and protecting the local environment within the limits of the powers defined for its task. The idea of our project came from these principles, as youth councils constitute the nucleus of local administrations and play the most sensitive link between the local administrations and the youth sector, and contribute significantly to the involvement of young people in decision-making processes, in policy-making processes, even if this can be done directly. The youth municipal assemblies mean a lot to them and naturally lead to the communication of the ideas and desires of the youth to the decision makers. In addition, the developed municipal youth councils play the role of the big brother in guiding, directing, and producing the performance of other municipal youth councils and sharing good ideas and practices with them to enrich the less developed communities in practical terms and enable them to start entering into decision-making processes. Here came the idea of the union in the form of the umbrella of the municipal youth councils and the place that will provide them with a quick and effective communication, whether by default or a face-to-face meeting. We have the opportunity to get acquainted in detail about our project. I hope you had a valuable time during this session that we are having in the context of the MARUF21, and I thank all the participants with us today for dedicating their valuable time to us. Please accept my sincere greetings and appreciation. Thank you very much again.
Many thanks, dear Mr. President, for this fruitful speech, which gave us a very comprehensive introduction about the project. Ladies and gentlemen, now please allow me to give the floor to His Excellency Mr. Mehmet, the Secretary General of UCLG-MEWA and the Chairman of WALD. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you so much, dear Chairman. I would like to greet everyone with love and respect, and I would like to also thank everyone who hosted this important activity and bringing all these valuable speeches. As UCLG-MEWA, we are more than pleased to be in this Municipality Youth Assemblies, and I want to express how pleased I am with this activity. And for those of you who do not already know our activity, I would like to inform you UCLG-MEWA aims to bring together all the municipalities under one roof, and we have more than 100 years of experience, shortly known as UCLG, and MEWA is one of the branches of this activity. And to create the 2030 agenda and to localize the international agendas, UCLG-MEWA has created 6 thematic committees for realizing this. And in this project today, we talk about social inclusivity, and this is going to be realized within this context. The urban diplomacy and the local governance experience aims to encourage local democracy and to increase the strength of urban diplomacy and to continue the urban diplomacy activities. This will help us to strengthen We also aim to create new and stronger cooperations with the local government officials. Also, with this project, from grassroots to the top, we aim to strengthen the decision-making processes, and we don't want to leave anyone behind. Leave no one behind is our motto, so we advocate the social inclusivity, and they include the disadvantaged groups as a priority. and we aim to increase the efficiency of these groups in the urban life. And this is a critical role for the youth to develop the cities within the framework of participation within United Nations. We aim to create a common sense and the active participation of all these groups are our priority. So, by United Nations, the youth is described as a disadvantaged group, and this is why we aim to include them in the decision-making processes, which is seen as one of the main components of sustainable development. And when we look at the SDGs, we see that many of the items include the development of the youth. For example, for qualified education, item number 4 tells us that the youth need to be able to access to education, no matter what their financial conditions are. Also, for the young girls and young women, there is a special emphasis so that we can have the goal number 8 includes all the groups for a more productive economy, and it has very ambitious goals. These are the goal number 10 is based on empowering everyone for social, economic, and political inclusion being supported, no matter what their race and gender or social status or financial statuses. And all sorts of planning and capacity building activities will be including the disadvantaged groups as well as the youth. Lastly, transparency and accountability will be the focus in the goal number 13. And even though there's not a direct reference to the youth, the strong participation is underlined. One other important framework document is the end document of Habitat 3, the new global agenda 39, 42, 48, and 148 of this document tells us about the inclusion of youth into the administrative processes in cities and in the urban areas, including them in the urban life and the nation, and including and encouraging them for urban development, and to include them in the decision-making processes in an active way. And this is the United Nations approach about youth. So at all levels of administration, this needs to be adopted, and the local governments should be encouraged, and it's important they take a very active role. And one of the main important examples is during the mayorship of Mr. Kadir Topbaş in Istanbul Metropolitan Municipality, they created a union of youth assemblies, and Turkey was one of the founding members, and the responsibility that Turkey overtook is very important. And also, one of our members, Balıkesir Metropolitan Municipality, has many youth activities which deserves a mention. In Balıkesir, with United Nations, the Youth Research Center is founded, and the 75th anniversary of United Nations was commemorated with a youth center in Balıkesir, and establishing an advisory board and having a UN Habitat Youth Advisory Board, including Balıkesir, are important examples on that front. At this point in the MEWA region, we aim to make the youth assemblies more active and to improve the sustainable development agenda and to implement it. in municipalities. Founding new youth assemblies will help to unite the experiences and to share the good practices. This project will also help to localize the sustainable development goals and give us major advantages. In the background of formation of youth assemblies, carry the local agendas, and it's a reflection of the Turkish agenda. So this tells us that the youth assemblies are one of the major components of this agenda. The youth assemblies, along with the women's assemblies, are specifically referred to, and they are crucial to be encouraged, to encourage them to play an active role in the development of the cities. Under the roof of Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the youth assemblies, thanks to youth assemblies, they can have a wider access and they can deepen their studies, which is very important for our region and will be a major contribution. Also, along with us, there are other actors like Ministry of Youth, Arab Youth Organization, Turkish Union of Municipalities, and Union of Marmara Municipalities will help to implement this project in the best possible way. So I would like to thank for their major contribution to all the stakeholders, and currently the youth assembly holding municipalities should improve their assembly capacities, and those municipalities without an assembly should establish one as soon as possible so that they can cooperate with the currently existing ones. So I would like to invite them to join in. With our youth, I hope that we will expand this project. Change starts locally and change starts with the youth. I greet you all with love and respect. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
Level as the tool for the sustainable development, beside mentioning the local diplomacy and social cohesion aspects, and mentioning the Habitat papers, especially since Habitat 2 hosted in Istanbul in 1996, and the local Agenda 21, which can be considered as the nucleus and the root of this valuable movement in general. Thank you very much. Dear audiences, now we are moving to a very vital part actually in our session. Mr. Hossein Kashiri will present for us now the project in details. Mr. Kashiri, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you very much. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear brothers and sisters in OIC Geography, I would like to express my sincere thanks for this very good meeting and good events and good initiatives, and the partners, especially Marmara Municipalities Union, Islamic Cooperation Youth Forum, ICYF, UCLG-MEWA, and also Union Municipal of Turkey. And I would like to welcome and also thank especially Mr. President Taha Ayhan, the President of ICYF, also my dear colleague in the UCLG Middle East and West Asia, Mr. Duman, and I remember a very close relationship between Municipality of Tehran and Mashhad with the UCLG during his very, very good moderating and managing this UCLG in Middle East and West Asia. Also, I would like to welcome the advisor, Minister Youth and Sport, State of Libya, for participating in this meeting, and all of my colleagues in ICYF and also in Marmara Municipality for managing this meeting. Let me start briefly before expanding and explanation about the project, my presentation, by explaining importance of sustainable development goals and the effect of youth on it. Of course, Mr. Ayhan and also Mr. Duman mentioned very good keywords about the SDG and also about the initiative, but I would like to share with you some statistics in this time before the presenting of the project. As you know, today there are 1.2 billion young people aged 15 to 24 years old, accounting for 16% of global population, and the active engagement of youth in sustainable development efforts is very, very important during recent years. They should know and also learn idea of sustainability and also and empowering youth for development, many topics defined in this field. In recent years, engaging youth and also including their activities defined in many topics as gender equality, good health, reducing inequality, combating poverty and hunger, also an action on environmental issues and climate change are also addressed in the many international organization, and there is many committees, as Mr. Duman know better than me, in cultural committees, in IT committees, in sustainable development, and also health committees in UCLG, in SDGs document. So we can mention that the role of youth, according to these statistics, for achieving sustainable development goals is very important, and building sustainable and resilient urban and rural communities is very most important initiatives we can mention that raised by MARUF and this project. I would like to start one by one the introduction of the project, aim and methodology, and share with you, and inshallah in near future we have very good outcomes and also achievements, and to introducing and to reporting to UN, also to UCLG, as a very good and useful and fruitful project all over the world. As you know, one of the ICYF pillars on the role of the youth in the sustainable development and diplomacy is expanding the peace boosters in the local level. As the OIC youth strategy and the ICYF action plan indicates, the municipal youth assemblies can be considered as the main partners for the development process on the local level, since these bodies are working together, the local authorities and also the nearest levels of governing to the people. The local authorities of the OIC regions have numerous members of youth organizations such as assemblies, councils, and even directors, and also these bodies have the capacity to contribute in the global diplomacy, starting from the local level and municipalities, city councils, and such a thing. ICYF try by the municipal youth assemblies to support the efforts in the localization of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, as one of the means to implement the ICYF action plan and eventually to implement the OIC youth strategy as well. The aim of this project, as I mentioned, as one of the most important pillars of ICYF, is the project of the Union Municipal Youth Assemblies aims, one, enable the union members will meet and make retreat meeting under the umbrella of the ICYF. so they share their experiences and best practice for the sake of OIC regions and beyond youth. We have such other project in OIC territory, moderate and managed by ICYF, that in the 4th General Assembly of ICYF, dear President, my brother Taha, gave a very great report of this kind of project that done under umbrella of the ICYF. This the best practice to be shared during the meetings will be circulated among the youth assemblies in the OIC regions and beyond, so that the members benefit from each other experience. As one of the most important goals of United Cities and local governments about the sharing experience, especially between municipalities. For example, I remember as a Director General of International Relation of Municipality of Mashhad and advisor of Mayor, about the sharing between Istanbul and Tehran and Mashhad, experiences about the critical situation regarding to crisis in the weather, in the firing, in the earthquakes, and we learned many things from our colleagues in Municipality of Istanbul in that time. Maybe Mr. Sir Mehmet Duman remember this cooperation between these two cities. Establish the assemblies of youth in the municipalities in which there are no assemblies. Yes, this is right that according to these statistics, we should expand the role of youth in the municipalities, and also we have this experience in Mashhad municipality. We have a young consultant group in each zone that gather and sit with the young people in that zone and talk with them, and bringing for the mayor and for city council the best ideas as assemblies of youth and also youth in the municipalities. How we can apply and how we can do this project, and what's the methodology of the project. I should mention that the Union of Municipalities, local authorities, unions, and organizations will be at first contacted in the order to get the contacts of the municipal youth assemblies, and inshallah, as soon as possible, also with the good moderating of ICYF, we should share this contact, and also my brother Muhammed in the end of this session give more information about at first contacting the young people, new members of ICYF in this meeting with this organization in Islamic countries. The municipal youth assemblies will be invited to join the Union of Municipal Youth Assemblies, for example, in formal on the behalf of municipalities, or about NGOs, non-governmental organizations regarding to urban management, and we registered the name in the list and starting keep in touch with them. The union members will meet on the annual base, online, offline, hybrid or physical, and inshallah, after decreasing the situation of COVID, maybe in the 2022, we can have a meeting by physical and face-to-face meeting, and sharing the experience and launching the ideas. The best practices will be shared with the other members, maybe in other geography. We believe that in the geography of Islamic countries, we have very many best practice and many very good experiences. Also, we can share with the European countries, also in the other countries non-member of OIC. But step by step, I think that in the near future, after starting successfully this project, we can have some members from out of this organization for supporting and for example, sharing the examples of these kind of assemblies in other part of the world. For example, we have Metropolis, one of the organization in Barcelona that have kind of these assemblies as a youth. We can starting to sharing the structure and the base of this organization with them. The municipalities without municipal youth assemblies will be encouraged to establish such assemblies. Yes, one of the other important to encourage and to give this pushing to the mayors and to the head of city councils to establishing and to have this part inside in the municipalities and starting to gathering young people together. Starting the members of the partners of this initiative and this plan, very good plan, are as first Marmara Municipalities Union. I would like to express my sincere thanks for this very good support. Also, Union of Municipalities of Turkey, and I know Turkey is very successful in the level of international organization in UCLG and also in Metropolis, that in Iran also we are members of these two organizations, but also the secretariat of this the Istanbul municipality was very successful. Also the attempts of Mr. Mehmet Duman in the as I remember in the last 1 decade are very important in this field. Also, the other Union of Local Authorities, UCLG-MEWA, Middle East and West Asia, Arab Town Organization in Iran, we are ready to share the samples of some of activity in this level. Also, Ministry Yusan of State of Libya, that we have a very good presentation today, and we are eagerly waiting to hear from our dear guest from Libya, and other partners that step by step, inshallah, in the website and in the Instagram and also other channels, we share our news and about the project, very good project in with our audience and brothers and sisters in the OIC geography. Inshallah, my dear brother and moderator, share the link and some other contacts with the persons that want to interested to join us, and I eagerly waiting for the questions, and I'm ready to answer to all the questions about the project. Just in this time, in the short time, I should briefly explain the aims, the methodology, and also the partners of the project. And inshallah, we are under your service, and also we are ready to give you the details in the near future.
Many thanks, Mr. Kashiri.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I guess that our esteemed audiences had a very good insight regarding the project via this important presentation. Many thanks for your for enriching as well the project with your deep experiences. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are moving to the second part actually of this session. In this part, we will have the chance to hear the good practices by the youth municipal assemblies from 2 different OIC regions. The first from the OIC Arab region, and precisely from the state of Palestine. And the other one will be from the OIC Asia region, this time from the Islamic Republic of Iran. To start with, I would like to give the floor to Ms. Lucia from Bethlehem Municipality, the member of the Municipal Council, to give us a general overview about the activities of youth municipal assemblies in Palestine. Ms. Lucy's speech will be followed by a 2 minutes video on Bethlehem Youth Municipal Assembly in the State of Palestine. Now the floor is yours, Ms. Lucia, please.
Thank you. It's a great honor and privilege for us as Bethlehem Municipality to join this Islamic Cooperation Youth Forum. I will be representing the Municipality of Bethlehem. Again, my name is Lucy. I'm a council member and been elected in 2017. We'll be talking about the Youth Council in Bethlehem, and also will introduce a bit about the situation of the Palestinian youth and what's the aim of the Youth Council that they are doing at Bethlehem Municipality. In Palestine, young women and men between the age of 15 to 29 constitute roughly 1/3 of the population. Despite the importance of this group in influencing the future direction of the society, Palestinian youth face significant difficulties and obstacles, including high unemployment, poor living conditions, and insecurity from the Israeli military occupation. Furthermore, with the Palestinian society, youth are marginalized and excluded from full participation in public and political life. They also face increasing social pressure caused by a patriarchal society, conservatism, gender discrimination, and unequal distribution of social and political power. These dimensions, including the occupation, shape the environment in which Palestinian youth live through and navigate, and are likely to have adverse impacts on their well-being. Despite the difficult circumstances under which they are living, young people have launched several initiatives seeking to achieve peace among the conflicting sides and enforce security and peace in society. Nevertheless, looking at the overall outcome of the different youth-led initiatives and activities, their influence seems to be limited given the important role youth are required to play. The situation of the Palestinian youth is complex. On the one hand, they are addressed with optimism, since they are the largest segments in society that is expected to affect the desired change sought by all Palestinians in the form of the national unity, liberation, and ending the occupation. Youth issues do not receive adequate attention and fail to occupy a central position in the decision-making agenda. This is in spite of the urgent need for the Palestinians to build more efficient economic, political, and social system that would contribute to a better life and safer environment. And this cannot be achieved without the involvement of the youth as the creator of development and as the builders of the present and the futures of the nation. So at Bethlehem Municipality, we thought this is important fact that the youth should play a role. So why is Youth Council important? Youth Council give young people a meaningful role in the policy and decision-making process. Young people of all ages have found their voices through organizing, advocacy, and community leadership. Youth councils, however, provide the opportunity to have direct access to policy makers. The Youth Council also focus on the development of the young people into engaged, employable, and active citizens. We amplify the voices of the Palestinian youth to reach those with the power to make the changes. We amplify the voices of the Palestinian youth to reach those with the power to make the changes and the policies. In Bethlehem Municipality, the Youth Council's being elected in, we established the Youth Council in April 2013. And how that it happens, we have a general assemblies, around 500 youth, mixed men, youth, gender mixed, boys and girls between the age 16 and 25. Each year we had the elections. In the General Assembly vote for who can represent the youth councils. And the motto that they are using, the youth councils, think global, act local. And the initiatives and the works that they are doing it to implement the motto that they are choosing. When we are talking about the SDGs to 2030s and talking about the sustainable development, so they focus all their initiatives on this issue: environmental, policy making, involvement of the youth, the role of the youth, changing laws, and actually we'll talk a bit about the changing laws and how the Youth Council and other youth that they are calling our government as a Palestinians to change the law based on they have the right, not even to vote, they have the right to be elected as a youth. So that's why they were calling to reduce the age of being elected as a legislative councils to the age 25, but it's not accepted until now. So what the actions that, or what's the aim of the youth that they are doing? The Youth Council try to foster intergeneration dialogue to improve the image of the youth in the eyes of the policy makers. Also, the youth would provide the youth with opportunities to acquire new skills, such as public speaking or fundraising. As a Palestinian, we have a cause, we need to advocate for it. So the youth, our youth is our ambassadors. They are talking about the Palestinian issue, how to live under occupation. So they are advocating for the cause of the Palestinian as a Palestinian living under occupation. And what they are doing also, activate the role of the young people through community-based initiative that would provide a new approach of the implementation of the activity, direct interactions in society, and consolidate the humanitarian, social, volunteering values and principles of peace. They have monthly meetings to develop plans for the youth through engagement and cooperation with the youth organizations, and also networking with local, regional, international youth organizations in order to network and to achieve different projects, as we are talking about think locally, think globally, act locally. And also to advocate and lobbying to promote the values of peace and security to voluntary activities. This month, October, we have the campaign for the prevention of the breast cancers, and they are leading this initiative for this month. Also, we consider the Youth Council as a shadow council. What does it mean, shadow council? The shadow councils that they are working closely with the municipal council, seeing all the work that they are doing. So what we are aiming for the shadow councils, that these councils will be ready to be elected one day as a council member for the municipality, not as only a youth council. So we are building on the capacity that they have in these youths to be representing in the to be high decision makers in different aspects. The Bethlehem municipality, what we are giving them all the facilities, all the safe environments, and also they have a budget to put it in order to implement their aims through different activities. One of the activities that I like to share, which is Go Green, which is when I talk about sustainable development, we want to see our cities as a green and a clean. So they did lots of activities, awareness raising on the environment, the importance of the environment, planting trees, especially near the areas of the Israelis confiscated the more land in order to build the wall. So what they are doing, they are trying to also to plant trees, olive trees, because it represents the Palestinian cause that we are rooted in this land as the olive trees. So I think I will, there's a lot to talk about the work that they are doing, different feasts during Easter, during Christmas, during Al-Adha or Bayram Day. They have different activities that they are targeting the marginalized, which is the people of the as village or the camps. So different activities in order to fill the aims of the strategies that they are working on. Also, we believe in best practice that they are working on, and also they are involved closely to when we work on the strategy of the municipality. They are part of the groups that work with us. So I will give you a chance now to watch a video with 2 minutes, a bit of the activities, to see a bit of the activities that our youth is working on. Thank you.
Many thanks, dear Ms. Lucia. It was a very valuable contribution, which showed us the power of youth to change and for development despite of the occupation's limitations and restrictions. Now we will move to the video mentioned by Ms. Lucia. Thank you very much for this video, Ms. Lucia. Dear audiences, esteemed panelists, allow me now to give the floor for another important speech by Ms. Mahnaz, in which she will brief us about the latest situation of the youth municipal assemblies in the Islamic Republic of Iran, besides presenting a good practice in this regard. The floor is yours, dear Ms. Mahnaz, please.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay. First of all, I'm Mahnaz Boghayeri from Gorgan, Iran. Today, I'm going to talk about Iran National Assembly of Youth NGOs and a good practice experienced by youth NGOs. But first, I would like to express my sincere thanks to Mr. Ayhan and Mr. Duman for giving me the opportunity to be here among you, which is my honor. And also, I should thank Mr. Mahli for his patience and support. Okay. Regarding Iran National Embassy of Youth NGOs, it was founded in 2016 as a network of representatives of youth groups at the request of young social activists with the support of Ministry of Sport and Youth. And some NGOs were elected as representatives of their relative provinces. The Assembly of Youth NGOs consists of several several committees, such as the Committee for Prevention of Social Injuries, the Committee for Economy, Employment and Social Businesses, the Committee for Citizenship Rights and Deprivation Prevention, the Committee for Sport, Leisure and Social Vitality, the Committee for Marriage, Women and Family Affairs, the Committee for Culture and Art, the Committee for Educational and Scientific Research, the Committee for Information and Communication Technology, and also the Committee for Environment and Natural Resources. Including these committees, the National Assembly of Youth NGOs follows different goals, among which the following are the most important ones. Of course, this assembly aims at empowering young people to build the capacity for effective participation in social processes, expanding cross-sectoral cooperation in the framework of developing youth interaction with the government, strengthening youth participation in interaction with official and international institutions, and protecting the rights of youth people, especially the vulnerable, the sick and physically disabled ones, protecting the environment, natural resources, and cultural heritage, as well as protecting the citizenship rights of young people. Since the number of members is concerned, any youth NGO that has an official accreditation from the Ministry of Sports and Youth in any of 32 provinces of Iran can become a member of the Assembly. Having a brief overview of the goals of the National Embassy of Youth, I'm going to talk about a good practice experience by youth NGOs in cooperation with Gorgan Municipality, City Council, and Cultural Heritage Office. In fact, I'm going to tell you the story of my hometown, Gorgan. Previously, it was called Sarabad, but the name has been changed to revive the memory of another ancient city in the province, which is totally ruined and partially excavated for archaeological studies. Historical city of Sarabad dates back to at least 1,000 years ago. Based on the existing buildings, though it is definitely more than that. Gorgan, or the same as Sarabad, is located in Golestan province in the north of Iran at the heart of Hyrcanian forests with a humid climate. It was a fortified city surrounded with walls and a ditch to protect the city from the attack of northern tribes. This was I think, for 200 years ago. And of course, hard to remain intact because of the climate and the attacks. It was inscribed as the first historical texture in Iran National Heritage List. However, it has undergone many changes and the destruction due to different reasons during the past decades happened, among which are these reasons. The incompatibility of people's lifestyles with the traditional architecture. As you know, for example, traditional architecture lacked the private spaces, which is vital to the modern man. expansion of families, marriage of children, and leaving the old houses that after the death of the parents, their houses remain vacant and vulnerable to damage. Restoration restrictions imposed by the relevant authorities. For example, the owners could not repair the houses without the Cultural Heritage Office permissions. The expansion of the city to the south toward the forests and the desire of the citizens to live in these new and modern areas. And accordingly, reduction in the prices of the properties in the old part of the city, or the historical part, I mean, hence leaving them empty. These were some reasons that these were some reasons for the destruction of the historical part of my city, Gorgan. And to prevent the destruction of Srabat historical texture, several activities have been done and different programs have been undertaken by NGOs and youth assemblies in cooperation with Gorgan Municipality as well as related organization to hold several meetings with officials to prepare an action plan to raise public awareness on the importance and value of the historical texture through walking tours, exhibitions, religious and cultural events, with the presence of professors and researchers of the culture and history of the region, raising awareness through social networks, publishing and distributing magazines and brochures, playing local games in historical texture to acquaint children with the importance of protecting these these old buildings. To take prompt action to inform public at the time of destruction and attempt to inscribe them in the National Heritage List in order to prevent the destruction. To prevent destruction of historical buildings by human factors. For example, owners wanted to build modern apartments instead of their old ones. To cooperate with the Cultural Heritage Office to restore the historical buildings and try to attract investors for restoring buildings. And also to participate in the restoration of historical monuments with personal budgets, and then use those buildings as their home or a workplace, and etc. Fortunately, these attempts resulted in improving the living standards of the residents, the desire of youth to live in this historical texture, creating jobs and employment, familiarizing people with their forgotten identity and history, attracting tourists and turning Gorgan into a tourist destination, and the most important one, creating balance and sustainable development of the city. Of course, this has not happened during one night, and it was not as easy as what I described. There were definitely many obstacles, and I know that this is just the beginning of a long, long path. But I think the future is so bright. Thank you for your attention, all.
Thank you, Ms. Mahnaz, for this important contribution, and especially for the great good practice you showed us by the Municipal Youth Assembly. Ladies and gentlemen, let me inform you that in this short time since the beginning of this session, we received applications from municipalities from Turkey and Lebanon to join the union. Mashallah, it is a very good start. By the way, you can apply for the union membership by visiting our official website, www.icyforum.org, or you can simply type ICYF in Google. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure to be with you today in this weekend day. Many thanks for your kind inputs and dedicating your weekend for us. Unfortunately, we couldn't host Mr. Al-Shaybani since he is suffering from a problem in the internet. So please accept our kindest regards as ICYF family. This is Muhammed Mahli greeting you. Thank you for all contributions. Assalamu alaikum and have a nice day.